Today, what we're going to do is take you through our torch buying guide. So there's so many torches on the market and it's really confusing. So we thought we'd put together this video blog just to chat to you about the torches that we have and some of the things you need to think about when buying your own torch. Okay, so we have lots of torches. How many have you got, Helen?
We have lots of torches. 1, 2, 3.
Too many torches.
Probably about 6.
I'm looking at 5.
And I don't use them all for silver clay. Let's be clear about that.
That's true. That's true. And that's exactly why we thought this video blog was a good thing to do, because it is so confusing, and obviously the price points are really wide as well, aren't they? So we've gathered together all our torches and let's have a chat through. So the first one I'm going to show you is this one here. Now, I haven't put my glasses on. This is, well, it's classed as a micro torch. There you go. And this is the one that commonly is used for metal clay for firing. You've got one very similar as well, haven't you, Helen? Do you want to show yours?
I have. I've got one similar to that one, and then I've got these ones which I use with my students.
Okay.
Yours is quite good because it has a little locking mechanism across it.
I was just looking
that little red button. Mine doesn't have a locking mechanism.
Yes, yeah, this is, so that's the locking mechanism on this one. So in order to ignite it, I've got to pop that down. So I've got to pop it up, and then I can then push the ignition button, whereas you just turn the dial, don't you?
Yeah, with us we turn the red dial.
Yeah.
With these ones.
Yeah.
These are Systotech ones that you can get at Cookson. But yeah, you turn the dial, press the button there, and they're pretty good.
I don't know what the make of this one is. What's the make of it? This is a Clark Weld. Clark.
Oh, right.
Weld, as in not world. Weld.
Weld.
WELD micro torch. Yeah. Yeah. And then on the top here, I've got my flame size control as well. Have you got one of those on yours?
No
size controller.
No, they do have.
Well, you do it with the dial.
Side, there's a little dial here.
Well, that's
just there.
Yeah, that's for the blue.
And you can reduce that. You can reduce the amount of oxygen.
Yeah, that's the oxygen, isn't it? But so
Yeah.
if you want to control your flame size, you just have to do the twiddle at the back end.
Twist the end.
Yeah, where I've got this here on top here, that controls my gas. Okay.
That's right, yeah.
So so two torches that are probably very similar flame size.
But is yours quite sharp? I would call it focused. A focused flame. That sounds really good, doesn't it?
Yes, it can be. Yeah, when the oxygen is reduced, then yes, it's quite a sharp, pointy flame. Definitely sharp blue flame. And then when the air holes are open, it's a bigger yellow fluffy flame. So I think the torches are pretty much the same. The main difference is mine has got the safety, whereas yours hasn't. But actually, they're probably similar size. They're still at the bottom using butane.
Yeah, absolutely. It's butane at the bottom. I do have one that is exactly the same as that one, and I use it the same as I use these ones in my classes.
Okay, and both got a stand as well. Stand is important. So
stand is very useful.
Yeah,
and I would definitely say make sure you stand this upright, because what you don't want to do is end up losing some of your gas or it falling over. And I mean, yours wouldn't knock over, but just in case these come loose, just for safety, keep them all stood up.
Yeah, and I've got another one here. This is a Blazer, and so these are widely available in the States, these Blazer torches. So again, it's the same. More like your one, though, because this one is, I haven't got a safety feature on this one. This is just basically using this to control the size of the flame, how much gas is going through, and that's the ignition. And then again, I've got the air control.
Yeah, it's very similar, isn't it? It just looks a little bit different, that's all.
Yeah. So these are what we would call, these are pretty standard torches. You know, if you were buying one, these will get you quite a long way, you know, and most people have these torches, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to show this little one here. This is a little cheapo from Amazon. Probably more akin to a creme brulee torch, I expect. I mean, to be honest, the flame will be a bit smaller. It can do the job, but the hard thing with this is you run out of space to hold it. If I just put my hand, can you see? So actually now my finger is right up against the mechanism here, and there's a very good chance that's going to get a bit toasty.
Yeah, I think a few years ago we bought some little samples like that, didn't we, off eBay or Amazon to test them. Yeah. And the one that I bought was so small that my hand was touching the silverware there where it was going to get hot.
Yeah.
And I used to keep it to show people, like the one that Julie's got. But I've just moved studio, so I did get rid of it in disgust, I have to say. But one of the things that I think is incredibly important when you're buying a new torch is partly that it's new, but also that it has that space for your hand.
Yeah,
you don't want to be anywhere near this part. It gets hot.
Yeah.
And you will end up burning yourself if you're not careful. So keep your hands down. I have seen people do it that way, hold it up here.
Yeah.
Don't hold your torch near the top. I always get people to move it down to the bottom. Your hands then are well out of the way. So just be aware of that sort of thing. Consider the height. And if you've got particularly big hands as well, consider where your hand placement is.
Yeah. No, it's like me. I mean, I've got big hands. I've got no chance with this torch. What's interesting, while you're talking, I'm just sitting here because I've never really, I think we bought these and we decided that they just weren't worth, you know, so it was interesting, but we weren't going to recommend them. But I'm looking at it as you're talking, and so I've got a bit of a safety thing here. It says off and lock, so that's good. But I've got no way to control the flame on here. I reckon at the bottom here, there's like a plus and a minus. So I reckon if I want to make the flame bigger or smaller, I would have to use a screwdriver and do it like that, which I'd be probably setting fire to my hair at that point, I would imagine. So,
that's not a good idea.
I think anything like this, just no.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's actually a waste of money and possibly a little bit dangerous because you need to be able to control that flame.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to turn it off. It's sort of, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, how would I actually turn the flame off? And because that's just ignition. So I think the only way I could actually turn the flame off after I'd finished using it is to go at the bottom here and use a screwdriver. So that's a definite no, is it? So yes, so we would not recommend these.
No.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah. So price point, I mean, I guess these are sort of in the £20 to £30 range, would you say?
Yes. Most of them are about £27 to £30.
Okay.
If your suppliers have tool discounts or anything like that, or Black Friday deals, it's worth getting them then. I know that's a bit of a way off at the moment, but you do occasionally get deals, and it's usually 10 or 15% off. But I would definitely, if you are going to spend your money on anything in your studio and you're working with silver clay, get a decent torch.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, if you burn yourself on a tiny one, it's going to take you a long time to heal.
Well, and I think also your confidence as well. You know, if you've got one that's not working for you, you burnt your hand or you're having problems turning it off or anything like that, I mean, it's just not worth the risk, is it really? So yeah, I would personally, I definitely wouldn't. Okay, right, now we had some other torches here, don't we? Some big ones, and this was quite interesting because we were chatting about it beforehand, weren't we? And so we have, right, so I'll show you this. So this one came from Cookson's in the UK. This is, I think it's a Max Flame, and then I have this one here that's the Big Bertha. It's my Blazer big shot. And so so you've got a much bigger head. So when you look, we hold them. Oh my goodness, I keep blurring. It's because I blurred my background, isn't it? My studio's such a mess. So you can see there's quite a big difference between the nozzles. So this one, these bigger ones, they produce a much bigger flame. So so they're good, in that respect. However, Helen, you said that you wouldn't put these anywhere near silver clay, didn't you? That was interesting.
No.
Yeah.
So this is my version. This is a Durston one.
Yeah.
Made in the UK, Durston tool. I love this one. I really like it. And these with the bigger nozzles have a larger, fluffier flame, so that you're going to heat a wider surface.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't use this one on silver clay.
Yeah.
I just use this one.
Okay.
So for me, the heat in here is going to go up to 900 degrees, maybe a bit more, if you're closer to things. So rather than me risk adding something that's bigger, I stick with that one. Okay. But I would say, with a caveat to that, I have a kiln, so I don't need to fire anything bigger than the size of a 50p piece, because I have an alternative option.
Yeah.
Now, you were saying earlier, Julie, that you would go use something like this for a larger piece.
Yes, to stretch the 50p rule. Yeah. So again, just so that everyone understands what a 50p piece is, because that's a very UK thing. So it's one of our coins, and I have the official measurements here for you. So its diameter is 27.3 millimeters, so just over an inch. And its thickness is 1.78 millimeters, so just under the 2 mil. So it's it's that sort of size. So when we talk about the 50p rule, we're talking about these torches, about that kind of being the maximum size that's fireable. However, what I said to Helen is I have used one of these big berthas to stretch the 50p rule. So I think we both, and we talked about it quite a lot, and we just sort of agreed that whilst it's possible, but we felt that it's probably something better for someone that was experienced and confident to try. Yeah. So you use your torch, your big torch, you use it a lot for soldering, don't you? For sort of, for bangles and...
So I'll use this for soldering, big rings, bangles, the bigger pieces work, where I need something to focus on a wider surface area in a short amount of time. So I use this quite regularly, but for totally different projects.
But for traditional silver work. So if you're someone that works with silver clay and with silver, with sheets, and sheet and wire sterling silver, then you would potentially have one of these in your toolkit. And in that scenario, we'd actually say have both, wouldn't we? So we'd say have this one for your silver clay, have this one for your silver work. And once you're confident and happy with this, then you could use this to fire your silver clay, but practice, because it'd be very easy to melt something, wouldn't it, with this, which I absolutely agree it is, but obviously I've been doing it a long time, so it's kind of, I'm confident, but that's the difference, isn't it? So okay.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend the big one for a starter. If you're new to it, don't go for the big one.
Absolutely.
Bigger isn't always better in that instance.
No, definitely not. No. So really you do need the two if you're doing two different, they've got two different jobs, haven't they, really?
Yes. And
then there were some other ones. You can get like little pencil torches. I know I used to have one of those. It used to be great for soldering jump rings, tiny little pieces. Absolutely no good for silver clay. You'd be a very, very small charm. And then we talked as well about some people we know, they use the hotheads on the map canisters, and so that's even more fierce than one of these. and we
And
forgot.
those canisters, they're like a gas
Oh, they're
canister
huge.
about this big.
Yeah, yeah. So you're like hanging on to
I'm
something like
holding
that.
the thing. I mean, it's
Yeah,
cold, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. And you've got this big flame coming out, and lots of
Yeah.
So whilst that would stretch the limits even further, again, that's not something we would recommend unless you're very confident and very accomplished.
And
So
I have to say, they do scare me.
yes,
And I have lots of, well, I do have them. I have used them,
yeah.
but definitely not for silver clay.
No, it's usually the glass work, isn't it? It's usually if you're
Yeah.
making like glass beads and stuff, they're good for it. But or casting, isn't it? If you're melting
Mhm.
silver and stuff.
Yeah.
So okay. Okay, and then so these bigger torches though, if someone's after these, I haven't bought one of these for a long time, but these are probably more
I've got
sort of 40.
I got this one, I think, from Cookson's, and
Yeah.
I got another one of a different brand that I got from Cookson's as well.
And what sort of price did you pay? £40? I think they're a bit more expensive.
35, I think,
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay. So they're similar
The
prices.
Durston one, I think they're almost identical, the two I've got, but this one's the
Yeah.
Durston one, and it just seems particularly reliable.
Well, Durston are
But
a
I've had
great
both
make.
of them for a long time.
Yeah. No, they're a great make, aren't they, Durston? I think.
Yeah.
To be fair, this Max Flame, I've had this a long time. That's from Cookson's.
Yeah.
And I absolutely, if you're stateside, the Blazers are fabulous. I mean, they're quite pricey, but they're really good quality. And I don't think I've ever had any issues with these, so I would happily recommend those as well. So okay, all right. So anything I'm trying to think. So that's really it, isn't it? Anything else we want to tell people about buying a torch?
No, I don't think so. The only other thing that you might want to do is check the reviews of the torch
Yeah,
on
true.
wherever you buy them from.
Yeah,
Sometimes things do go wrong with the torches, and they'll be in the reviews. Just double check them because the safety part is the most important thing.
yeah. Well, and you say that a lot. They all look similar, don't they? That's the thing.
Yes, they do.
And some of the cheap ones, they look like, this.
Yeah.
Actually, they're not very well made. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Definitely check the reviews. Because mostly on Amazon, it's very hard to tell.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know about yours, but mine are metal canisters, not plastic.
Yes, yeah,
And
that's
some
true.
of the ones that are advertised are actually plastic.
Yes,
So again, just check that. You can tell by tapping it, but it will
yeah,
say on the product details just what that material is. Double check it.
yeah. It's this little thing. This must be plastic. It's got hardly any weight in it. And interestingly, you say that because I think one of the first torches I bought when I first started out, I found one on Amazon. It was a plastic canister, and the other thing it had your twisty, like the twisty valve, the on off.
A
Yeah,
rev twist.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's it. I had one of those, but it was so cheap. When I turned it off for the first time, it basically I managed to overturn it, and it basically ruined the plastic. So then the only way to turn it off and on was to put a screwdriver and the screw that was holding it. So again, it was no good, so
That's
it
no
was very
good.
cheap, but actually it was useless very quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, safety's just so important, isn't it? With your torches,
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's worth spending a little bit on them just to make sure you get something decent. Great. Okay.
So that's all good.
Good. Okay. Well, hope you found this useful. And if you've got any questions about buying your hand torch, then let us know.